everyone. My name is Lisa. I'm a designer by training. I worked for a few newsrooms, and I'm creating data visualizations, especially for the ISVIS tool Data Wrapper these days that got just mentioned for its right-to-left support. And on last Sunday, I had the pleasure to give a 4.5-hour workshop on colors in data visualization. So I showed 300 slides. We were 40 attendees, and we did 9 smaller exercises. And in the next few minutes, I would like to tell you a little bit about what we talked about, what we learned, and how the exercises played out. So what did I explain in these 300 slides? Well, I structured my little workshop into 5 parts. We talked a lot about that good colors in data visualizations should be easy to tell apart. We talked a lot about accessibility. But then we also talked about how good colors should be meaningful, beautiful, understandable, and ethical. And in between, I scattered quite some color theory. So, for example, I explained why colorblind people, like what's basically broken in their eyes, that they can only see certain colors. We talked about hardware and the different screens can show different kinds of colors or different numbers of colors. And we talked a lot about color spaces and the different ones that exist and which ones should we use. And I can really recommend to all of you, when you're working with colors, to use a color space that basically lets you decide on the lightness, on the saturation, and the hue of your colors. So every color can have like the lightness, the saturation, and one hue. And manipulating not just the hue, like down here, just like green, red, blue, these would be different hues, but also the lightness and the saturation is super important also to make colors more accessible. So basically there's this saying, get it right in black and white. If somebody prints your visualization in black and white, it should still be readable and decipherable. And this is not the case, for example, here, but this is the case here. So you see like a green and a red color here. And if you know anything about color blindness, then that colorblind people have a hard time telling green and red apart. But here it works. It works because the green is so much lighter than the red. And so it's actually easy to tell them apart, even for colorblind people. We also talked about design and what design can achieve, that thanks to design, you have that power, that magic superpower to decide what readers should see first, second, etc. Like we looked at simple examples like this Financial Times chart here that really highlights this one data point here. But we also looked at more complex examples where saturation, like a higher saturation and like a darker color can really make things look a little bit more important than other elements on your chart. And we had like these 9 fun little exercises, and we definitely learned some things in them too. So yeah, there actually was a lot of fun. So we did a lot of these exercises in a collaborative whiteboard. So for example, here, the 40 attendees tried to pick some colors from photos of nature. Like, yeah, we wanted to find out what happens when you pick colors from nature. How do they look like? And yeah, it turns out they all look actually pretty desaturated. They're not these very bright red and green and blue and purple, etc. But they're more like off colors, more like in between colors, and more like desaturated. And lots of data visualizations that actually look beautiful to us or natural and nice use these desaturated off colors. So that was a little trick in our how can we make colors more beautiful section. I also let attendees bring their own data visualizations and let them also pick colors from there. And we tried to sort them. So when we talked about lightness and the importance of lightness, we tried to sort these colors between a very bright and a very dark gray value. And we figured out it's actually pretty hard. So this is how the gray value actually looks like from these colors. And we found out when we talked about accessibility that lots of these colors in current data visualizations, for example, from newsrooms and of course other organizations, don't actually meet the accessibility guidelines that lots of organizations, especially government organizations, need to follow. So for example, these colors here are too bright on a white background to adhere to that 3:1 ratio that the Web Content Accessibility guidelines want you to meet for non-text elements. So everything starting here would be compliant, basically. Everything before that, not so much. Also, lots of fun was trying to sort all these colors we picked on a color wheel. And we found that lots of visualizations actually used blue colors and then combined them with some warmer colors like yellow and orange. So really having this complementary contrast here worked well for a lot of beautiful data visualizations. Very few data visualizations used like a grass green or like a forest green, as we can see here. So if they used green, they made it more like a yellowish green or more like a bluish green, which was also interesting. And at the end, we also talked about sentiment, about which colors fit, about which colors feel offending, maybe. And I asked the attendees of the workshop to sort the colors on a scale from playful to serious. And here again, we talked about saturation and lightness. So the more serious colors were the ones that were rather dark and like less saturated. And the playful colors were considered the ones that were more saturated and also brighter. So you can really use saturation and lightness to also communicate a certain sentiment about your topic. And we talked about that. And that was it. That was a little retrospective of this 4.5-hour workshop I did on Sunday. If you're interested about colors now, you can find a lot of articles I wrote about the topic on the Data Webber blog, which you can find a link for here. And if anyone wants to say something about this workshop out of the audience, I would be very happy about that.
Okay, thank you. We have...
See me or not?
No, she can't see you.
Okay. Hi.
You can come on
Okay.
stage if you want, then she'll see you.
Both of us. Hi, Lisa. I attended your workshop on Sunday, me and the baby, if you remember. So you don't see me on camera, but I was there. I just want to say it was very, very interesting workshop. I give workshop on data visualization, and about colors, workshop like yours I haven't seen. I think the content was super, super interesting. I was just talking to a friend of mine, Natalie, which left, Natalie Gill, and we are designers. She's designers for like many, many years, and he said, both of us, we didn't know so much about colors until your design, your workshop. So I think the content was amazing, the exercise was amazing, all the things we did on Figma together. I think the design of the slide was something to learn from, right? So it was beautiful, and I think everybody should take her workshop. I don't get any money from it, so just do it, because it was very, very, very interesting, and a lot of content, like you can see you writing a book about it, because there was a lot of content and very important research inside. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, one more participant.
Hi, Lisa. I'm Kathy. And I think that colors is very personal perception and very subjective issue. So while joining your workshop, I was wondering how difficult it will be for you to probably deal with a lot of personal opinions on this topic. And it didn't go to this point at all, maybe because there were not that much design professionals with ego around. Surprisingly, there were a lot of other professions dealing with data from different directions. And I think that the beginning of your workshop was extremely interesting to start with don't rely on colors alone. 70 slides disclaimer was quite surprising for me and quite amazing for somebody who is researching and writing about colors. So I completely agree with you that infographics absolutely have to be smart and deep, even being in black and white. And the color is really a bonus. And I think that you gave so much theory and so much mix, very balanced mixed with experiencing stuff. That everybody, even people who were sure that they know so much about colors, learned a lot. I'm quite sure I did. And we all experienced virtual work, collaborating on virtual spaces during the COVID. But I think that dealing with colors and seeing all other participants dealing with you, mixing it and suddenly saying, oh, your work is perfect, oh, your work is cool, or your opinion is different, in this virtual Figma space was extremely joyful. And also so many tools which you just showed us, which can improve, well, you're just in progress working on something that you're absolutely sure is very clear, but in reality, when you not even tested like a colorblind person, but just like a slightly not perfect seeing colors, like slightly color impaired person, which are much more than colorblind in reality. Then you suddenly discovered that maybe you are not that right. So for me, there are quite a lot of discoveries. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that review. Very kind.
Okay, thanks a lot, Lisa. And we're done with the session now. I think we'll take a 10-minute break, and please come back in 10 minutes. We have a great session later on. Next session will be on pandemic risk.